CAD and Revit. Okay, CAD and Revit means what is the difference? We have the notes. I'll provide you the notes. This is just the introduction that you can read. Okay,
Okay.
no problem in this. So we'll start with the Revit software basics, this topic. Okay, so here is the difference between CAD and Revit. Between CAD means AutoCAD. Okay, that we have learned previously. So the first difference that we have is the drafting technique. Okay, so in CAD, what we use single lines. Nah, for drawing anything, for drawing any flow plan, for drawing any of your figure, you'll use single line. But in Revit, you will use families. Okay, what are families? Let me show you. So now open any of the project. So suppose if you want to draw a wall, okay, if you want to draw a wall, you will first select the wall from here and draw it here. So this is just not a single line. Okay, this is a family. This is a wall family. For everything which you will draw here will come from the family. Okay, suppose that we have this is a different family for door. This is the family for wall. Okay, so in AutoCAD we use line, and in Revit we use families. We have separate families for separate elements. For each element we have a separate family. So how to access that family? So you can access each and every family from here. This is the families in project browser. We have families option here. Open it up, and we have different families here. Suppose the wall family you can find here: basic wall, curtain wall, stacked wall. Okay, or for duct you can find the families for duct. So the first difference that we have discussed is the drafting technique or modeling technique. In AutoCAD we use the single line or the line command or the composite figure or the block, but in Revit we use families for the same. Okay, we don't have a single line because this is the 3D modeling software, so we have families for the drafting technique. Okay, next is the design of project. In AutoCAD we don't have a separate tool for designing. Okay, AutoCAD cannot design any project, but in Revit we have a separate topic for designing. Suppose if you want to calculate the load of this room, okay, how much tonnage of AC will be required in this room. So we have a separate topic. We have a tab called the Analyze tab. Okay, Analyze tab we have. In that we have the option for heating and cooling loads. So with the help of this tool, you can calculate how much tonnage will be required in this room. How much tonnage, how much CFM will be required in this room. So we have a separate tools for designing also in Revit, but in AutoCAD we don't have that. Understood? Okay, so design of projects in AutoCAD, no design tool. In Revit we have separate design tools. What are the design tools? We'll discuss in the further classes. So next is the clash detection. Okay, so the clash detection means suppose we have a building, and in building we have different services like plumbing and HVAC ducts and structural. So when you draw the coordination plan means all the services are included in that plan. All the plumbing services, all the HVAC services, structural, architectural. So when coordinating that one, the elements get clash with each other. Sometimes may the duct will clash with the plumbing pipes, or the structural beams will clash with the HVAC ducts. So to detect that clash, in AutoCAD we don't have a tool for clash detection. Okay, in AutoCAD we don't have a tool for clash detection. We have to do it manually. But in Revit we have a separate tool for clash detection. So it is automatic. How to use this? Let me show you the path How to use it we'll discuss in the later classes. So we have an option here in the collaborate tab is the interference check. Interference means clashing. See this figure, na? The clashing element, you can rectify which elements are clashing with each other. So how to use this we'll discuss in the later classes. Just understand that we have a separate tool. The clash detection in Revit is automatic. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Next is section creation. Okay, section. If you want to create a section in AutoCAD, you have to make it manually because there is not a 3D figure for that. But in Revit, there is an automatic. Uh, you can create section automatically. How to create it? Let me come to the floor plan first. So that we have drawn na earlier. We have a option view. Go to the view tab. We have an option here called section. Section. Click this and drag it to the side. Right click, go to view. Don't get confused. This will, for this we have a separate topic for section. Just I'm trying to make you understand that we can create section automatically in Revit. Okay, discuss it, how to customize it, how to change it. Okay, there are many options in section, but for this just for this level we have to understand that we can create automatically. The section can be created automatically. Okay, go to view. So here is the section for this. So no need for creating section in Revit, but in AutoCAD you have to create the section. Okay. Okay. Next, any doubt, Akshay? Do you have any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. 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 Mehboob.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, fine. Next is the work takeoff. Work takeoff means the quantities which are required for the particular work. So suppose if you are installing the duct, so you need to have a proper quantities, how much square meter duct will be required, or how much suppose if you are drawing HVAC layout, ducting layout, you will first need to have how much square meter duct will be required at the site. So to calculate the total quantities in AutoCAD you have to do it manually, but in Revit you can do it automatically. How to do this? We have an option for here called the Analyze tab, and here we have the schedules and quantities. Okay, how to use this we'll discuss in the later classes. We have a separate topic for this. Okay, so you can calculate any quantities, any number of elements from here which have been drawn in this model. Okay, so next is the network mode. Okay, network mode means in Revit we have non-multiple files, but in Revit we have a central files. So what comes here? Suppose we have for a building we have different services, na? Architectural, structural, HVAC, plumbing, firefighting, electrical. Okay, so for that we have different consulting engineers we have for that, and we have different designers for that. And if we go with the AutoCAD, you will need to have separate files for each contractor. Suppose the architecture file for architecture, HVA and ducting HVAC ducting layout file for mechanical contractor. But if you are working with the Revit, if you are using BIM in your company, you will need to have only one file called the central file. Okay, and this central file can be accessed to different contractors with the help of local files. That is called work sharing. Okay, so you will need to have only one model. In that model every contractor can work. So here network mode is non-multiple files, and Revit has the central file. Central file is shared. Central file is not shared. The local file of the central file is shared to each contractor, and that local file is synchronized to the central file. So the work which has been drawn from the each contractor gets saved in the central file. So we have a separate file for a project. But if you are using CAD, we have separate file for separate contractors. If you have any doubt, ask me. Prakash, do you have any doubt?
No, it's okay. It's clear.
Okay, fine. So this was the difference between CAD and Revit. Okay. Any doubt?
Okay, are you providing us the material also?
Yeah, Mehboob, please speak loud.
Yeah. Are you providing the material just like
Yeah, this material I'll provide you.
Okay.
Okay. Next is the Revit file extensions. Okay, Revit file extensions means the file types. The file types of Revit. Close this project. Next is the first we have discussed now difference between CAD and Revit. Second is different file types of Revit. File types means in Revit there are different types of files. Okay, the four major types of files are the template file, project file, families file, and families template file. Okay, so for drawing any project, you must start with the template file. Okay, the extension for template file is Revit project template is .rte. Okay, can you see the word screen?
Yeah.
Okay, word screen is visible. So the do you know what is extension? File extension?
Yeah.
Okay. Suppose for Word we have .dot. Okay. For Excel the file extension is .xls. Okay. So for Revit we have four types of Revit file. First one is the project file in which we'll draw the project. File extension is .rvt. Project template, the file extension is .rte. Revit family .rfa. Revit family template .rft. Okay, any problem?
Okay.
So for starting any project, you must have start with the template file first. Similarly,
Okay.
for drawing any family, you must start with the family template first. Okay.
Okay.
So the template file are used just for the starting purpose, so that we have the settings which has been already being done in the template file. So we have a topic for what is template file. Okay, next topic is types of Revit models. Okay, types of Revit models. Show you the Revit models. Yeah. Generally four types: architecture, site model, structural, MEP. You can see here .rbt means the project file.
Yeah.
Okay, .rbt means the project file. So fine. So generally four types of models: architectural, site, structural, MEP. We'll discuss the syllabus for us is for the MEP. Okay. So architecture contractor produces the architecture model. Structural designers produce the structural model, and the architecture one produces the site model and the architecture one. But what is the site model? The site model provides this site model. The site model provides the geographical condition or geometrical position of the building. Okay, the orientation of the building. How will you know the orientation of the building from this model? The true north, south, east, west of the building you will know from this model. And accurate position of the model, accurate geographical position of the model you will understand from this model, site model. Okay. So the architectural model is based on two models, site model and structural model. We'll not discuss in detail for the architecture one, just to understand you the basics. So architecture model is based on two models, site model and structural model. Okay, but for MEP modeling we use the architecture model as a link file. For the reference of the building in MEP project, we use the architecture file as the reference. Okay, architecture file as a reference. Prakash, any doubt you have?
No, it's okay. It's clear.
Okay, fine. So, did you understand different types of Revit models? These are the different types of Revit models. And next is types of Revit model we have completed. How to start a project in Revit? How to start a project? So to start the project in Revit, first select the template specific to the discipline. Start the project in Revit, first select the template specific to the discipline. Example, to start an architecture project, select the architecture template first. Now, if you want to start an architecture project or this is the example of a site model. The site model which we are discussing in the later, na? This is the example for that. This is showing the geographical condition and position of the building, and here is showing the orientation of the building. Okay, suppose we have north here, this is south. Okay, generally we show north as a reference. Okay, let me close this. Now, if you want to start an architecture project, so for project we have this option, this one. This part is for models, for creating models, and this part is for creating families.
Sir, that is not visible.
What is not visible?
You marked the two boxes, right?
Yeah.
That boxes are not visible, sir. Only. Yeah.
Boxes
Okay.
are
Now it's
visible.
okay. Yeah. Now it's okay. Sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Prakash, can you see the boxes?
Yeah, it says open and new. Yeah.
Okay. So for doing any project, we'll use this one, and for creating any family, we will use this one. Okay. Now, just for example, I'm starting an architecture project. Okay. For starting any architecture project, we have learned that to start the project, first select the template specific to the discipline. So click on new. Now this is the template file.
Yeah.
Select the template file specific to the discipline. Suppose we are creating an architecture model, na? So we can select the architecture template. Architecture template. Okay. Create new project. Click OK. Now the template is opened as a project file. Okay. The first thing which you have to do after opening the project, go to this manage tab, manage. Here we have the option for the project information. Can you see this project information?
Yeah.
Click this. Now you can specify here your organization name, organization description, building name, author name means the owner. Okay, project issue, energy setting and route analysis is the part of the green building. Okay, that will not be discussed. Other is the project issue date, project status, client name, project address, project name, project number. Okay, whatever project you are doing, you can fill the entries for the specific one. Okay.
Yeah.
Mehboob, you are understanding or?
Yeah. I'm getting that.
Okay, fine. So this is how we'll start any project. Suppose if you want to start the project for MEP, you can have the mechanical template, or you are starting the structural one. We have template for structural also. So these templates are provided by the Revit by default. Okay, you can create also you can create also a custom template. Okay, so but you will not need this. You can customize this pre-existing templates also. Okay, so how to edit this we'll discuss in the later classes. First, let me show you the next topic. How to start a project in Revit. We have completed concept of template. Okay, concept of template means just to understand, project template file. Okay, so if you're working in a company, listening Prakash,
Yeah.
if you're working in a company, you have different clients. Okay, so for different client, you have a separate template for a separate client. The reason why the reason why we are having a separate template for a separate client, because each client have their own standards. Suppose a client want the drawing to be in fit inch. Suppose the client want the drawing to be in imperial system or English system or the metric system. So as per the standard of the client, we have a separate file for the template. Okay, so template file, it can be defined as a file in which common settings are already being done. Common setting means view template, loaded families, defined settings such as unit, fill patterns, line style. We'll discuss all this, don't worry. Revit provides several templates for different disciplines. Just like this, we have different templates for different disciplines. So Revit different templates for different disciplines, but you can also create your custom template as per the client standard. Okay, as per the client standard, you can create your own template. Okay.
Yeah.
Any doubt?
No. Okay.
So template, you have understood. Next is the learning the Revit architecture basics.